My name is Vika, and I came to tell my story. I met my husband about 15 years ago. My friend and I went to a cafe, and she waved at some guys she knew. I exchanged contacts with one of them, and we started talking a lot. Literally a month later, he suggested that I move in with him, come live with him, because I was renting a place. I was still a student, renting a room, and he lived in a dorm. I agreed pretty easily, especially since he seemed like a nice guy, a good doctor. We moved in with him and lived there for about 4 months, and then I found out I was pregnant. He was okay with getting married, and so was I, and that's when the real adult life began. We quickly found a cheap apartment and moved there. Right away, it was all babies, diapers, and work, because we had to pay rent and somehow move forward. We registered as individual entrepreneurs. There were sleepless nights because of the baby, and during the day, I was constantly sewing, cleaning, cooking, the baby again, the business again. It went on like that for a year, and then I got pregnant again. He didn't help me around the house at all in the everyday sense, so it was entirely my responsibility. And at the same time, he wouldn't let me rest. He could easily go out with his friends to a club, hang out, relax, and I couldn't. He wouldn't let me go anywhere because he thought, first of all, that I didn't need it. I had a bunch of things to do. I remember this wonderful moment when I fell asleep in the evening and woke up in the morning. It was about 9 a.m. I opened my eyes. It was bright, and I realized that I had slept through the whole night for the first time. It had been about 3 years since the first birth, and I immediately ran to check the kids to see if they were okay, because that had never happened before. I also had to stay in shape. I turned on my own music, the one I liked, and started working out. And he said, "No, you're doing it wrong. The music is totally wrong. I want you to turn on something else and work out to that music." I said, "Well, since it's my workout, my mood, I want to exercise to this music." And that's when I got my first kick in the stomach. That was the first actual blow, the first time he allowed himself to do that. There was a fight, but he promised it would never happen again. A couple of years later, we started having rougher fights in everyday life and more physical abuse. He could just hit me, slap me really hard. Considering he was into working out, loved no rules fighting, a pretty strong guy, even his light blows were very hard for me. And then there were these moments when, for example, during arguments, he would say strange things in a joking manner about our sex life. Let's spice it up somehow, like a threesome, a foursome. Stuff like, would you like to try this or that? I had never even thought about that, and at the same time, it made absolutely no sense to me, so I always refused. But those jokes kept coming all the time. Shortly before I defended my diploma, his jokes about those kinds of parties and variety got very harsh. He stopped joking and started pushing really hard, aggressively, using physical force, pinching me, forcing me. "No, you have to do it all. I want it." Considering my character, that I'm softer, more compliant, I gave in. I agreed to it. I remember his words very clearly, something like, "You're too weak to do this for me." And I was already done, exhausted, worn out. I said, "No, I'm not too weak." And I agreed. Since there was jealousy, and it was our first experience of diversifying our sex life, he started insisting more. He'd say, "I need to get over my jealousy somehow. Let's go again to someone's place. I've already arranged it. We rented an apartment. We're going, whether you want it or not." We were fighting, and he was already dragging me there. Again, I gave in. We went. After that, he became even more jealous, because the guy who was there was very handsome, with a good body, pretty smart, and my ex-husband felt very insecure compared to him. moment, realized that if I was being forced to relax, I might as well at least act like it was rest. At some point, I wasn't screaming or fighting with anyone. I thought, I'll play along, I'll make it okay for myself, and it will never happen again. Like, he got what he wanted, he's satisfied, and then we'll somehow live and improve our relationship. So yeah, I played along twice. Around that time, we were finishing building our house. We knew we'd be moving soon. And honestly, I was afraid to move into that house because I understood that once we moved there, I wouldn't have neighbors, and that would basically give him free rein. And the turning point was when we finally moved into the house. That's when the truly terrible things started, the things that drove me to a horrible state. First, there were beatings, serious fights. He doesn't know how to stop. If he gets worked up, that state lasts for a whole day. You can't calm him down or talk to him. He said he wanted to spice up our family life again because we were having a lot of arguments, and he started arranging things, not just by persuading me to have threesomes. He didn't ask anymore. He just registered on websites, on VContact, and started bringing men over, saying, "No, you have to. I want it. You must." There were about 100 such men, not counting the ones who came multiple times. About 100 over about 5 years. There was a break when I was pregnant with our third child, so that was a pause. He usually just watched and rarely joined in. What turned him on most was watching them rape me, no matter what state I was in, whether I liked it or not. Sometimes he would just go to another room, lie down, and say, "You can do whatever you want with her. She's yours." There could be up to 4 guys at once, plus him being the 5th. There were several such cases, and on top of all that, he complained too, that it took too long, or that I paid too much attention to some guy and not to him. "Why did you push me away? I wanted to join too. Why did you say you didn't like it? It lasted 3 or 4 hours, and you said you were tired." So there were constant complaints too. It wasn't like, "Okay, he likes it. I made a compromise for the sake of our marriage." No. There were times when he accused me. Some guys came in very expensive cars, and he'd say, "You serviced him too well because he's rich. You saw his car, so now you're showing off for him. You like him already." That also pissed him off, and eventually he started picking ugly guys for me, like the wife is a beauty, and she sleeps with freaks. That turned him on a lot. Whether I liked it or not, nobody ever asked me. And there were real, brutal beatings as well. While we lived in the house, I got pregnant a 3rd time and gave birth. There was a break for about a year when we didn't have threesomes. He didn't invite anyone. But then he got mistresses, other women he would drive to see often. I started noticing those things, saw the messages, intimate photos. It was pretty frequent. When I confronted him, he said, "It's none of your business. I'm going to sleep with them because I need to. You take care of the house, take care of the kids, give birth. You've got enough to do. Don't get into my personal life at all." No one believed me. The relatives didn't believe me. I couldn't tell my own parents about the horror that was going on. I could say that he hit me, that there was domestic violence, but that there were all these men. I kept quiet about that. My mother-in-law too, when I told her, "Your son is forcing me to sleep with other men." I called her and said it, and she didn't believe me because my ex told her that I'd lost my mind and was making it up. He admitted there were arguments, sure, but about the men, he told her it was all lies. She didn't believe me. The first time I called the police over domestic violence, he just got a fine and a short talk. He told the officer, "Okay, I won't hit her anymore." That was enough for him, and it all continued. The second time I called the police, he had beaten me because he had sent me to sleep with a guy. I was have sex with that guy, but since I came back very late, I got beaten. The way he did it was, if before he had just thrown a hit, now he told me clearly, get on your knees, hands behind your back, fingers locked, while I beat you. Don't you dare move your hands, bear it. I want this. You have to endure it. You're guilty. Then they took him to the police for 3 days. Those were probably my second calm days, when I could actually rest. The only thing those 2 police calls changed was that he realized he couldn't hit me anymore. But his tongue was free. He started saying things like, you made me go to the police. I spent 3 days there. I'm depressed. I feel bad. Like, we're not alcoholics or drug addicts. Only they do that. We're a good model family. Why did you do that? It was fight after fight. He said, prove you love me. Eat my shit. I laughed it off at first, like, haha, yeah, right. And he realized he couldn't hit me anymore because I might call the police. So he started grabbing me and dragging me to the bathroom where he had done his business. I fought back for a very long time. I tried to run out of the house. I ran away. I fought him. He grabbed me, pinched me. He wouldn't let me back into the house. Then when I somehow got back in, he would drag me to that bathroom again. No, you have to eat it all, because that's the only way you can prove that you love me. Everybody does this. I know couples who do this. You love me. You have to do it. The kids, I don't even know where they were. Somewhere on the property, running around. They were trying to move farther away from us because they understood this would go on for a long time.